or sponsors. Welcome to the Ask the Experts show with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Enjoy being educated in such topics as personal injury law, community association law, family law, bankruptcy law, along with health show topics like pain management, men's health, and dental implants. Now, sit back and enjoy today's Ask the Experts with host Steve-O.
Hey, welcome to Ugly Afternoon Monday. What a crummy day it is, but listen, at least we're alive and kicking out there. We are one of the few live shows. This is live every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7. Ask the Experts. I'm host Steve-O. You can watch today's show on our Facebook by going to Ask the Experts Steve-O Host. We're going to have a new show starting next month. It's a home improvement show. We're going to have plumbers and roofers and remodelers, mortgage companies, and I'll be giving you more information. But today, well, what an important day. We almost got our first hurricane. I want to introduce you to our expert who's with us every month. Please welcome attorney. I'm going to underline that attorney Josh Whisler with the Whisler Law Firm. Hi, Josh.
Hey, Steve-O, great to see you.
Good to see you. How do you keep your kitchen so clean?
I have a few people. I can't take credit for that, okay?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Bro, we almost got our first hurricane.
We did. I think North Carolina's feeling the brunt of it now, and it is rainy season. So all those reminders, we've been talking about for the entire year should be a wake-up call that people really got to start preparing.
Well, listen, I got 10 new emails this week, people wanting me to ask questions about your firm. So that means there's a lot of new people out there. Tell people you do property damage claims or public adjusters. Tell people what your firm does.
Sure. Anything that has to do with your business or your home, or if you have rental properties, um, dealing with insurance issues is what we handle, what we specialize in. So if there is theft, vandalism, hurricane storms, pipe breaks, business interruption, anything that could
Fire.
possibly go bad to one of your properties or companies, that's where we come in and be your advocate to get you the benefits that you deserve. You pay a premium to your insurance companies, and when you do that, you expect that the insurance company will honor that agreement. But unfortunately, most of the times they don't. So unless you have a pit bull in your corner who's going to fight for you, unfortunately, we see most of the times that the insurance companies do take advantage of their insureds.
How many times do you hear the story that somebody went up against the insurance company and they didn't get anywhere close to what they thought their claim was worth, and how hard it was dealing with them? This is what you do. This is all you do.
Every single day, we are in the pit fighting with the insurance companies. I wish I didn't have to do it, but apparently there is a need because the insurance companies need to answer to their investors, right? So the less money going out, the more money they have coming in, their corporations. So they don't want to give up the money for legitimate claims, and that's where the whole fight ensues. And that's where we come in and defend our clients, the homeowners, to get what they deserve. We're not asking for anything more than what is due and owing.
It seems like, Josh, that some people wait till there's an emergency to find out what their policy says. So let's kind of back up. What should people, when they're purchasing property, what should they look for on their insurance?
Well, typically, a lot of it depends where your property is located, right? So if you're in Florida, you're basically in a hurricane zone. And if you're
Right.
closer to the water, right, there are other certain elements that you want to be you have concerns for. So you want to look at your caps. And when I say caps, I mean how much money you have for certain coverages. If you have very low coverage caps, that should be a concern. You also want to look at the exclusions. I tell people all the time, the insurance company gives you a policy this thick, right? One line, it says what's covered. 60 pages behind it tell you why it's not
It's
covered.
not
So
right.
you basically, what I tell clients, you have to go in assuming that nothing's covered and let a professional review it and tell you where your gaps are.
So that's one of the things your firm does.
Yeah, we do free policy reviews, and I'm surprised that people don't take advantage of us more often because again, it's free, and we want to do a service to the community where we're showing people the shortfalls and the gaps in their coverage. Because, like I said, unfortunately, we see it after the fact when somebody files a claim, and then we review the policy, and they just don't have coverage for that, for that issue. I always tell the story to you, Steve, about the time after Hurricane Irma, where a client came to us and their entire property was destroyed, and they didn't have hurricane coverage. It just blew my mind. They didn't have hurricane coverage.
How could you
If you're in
not have
Florida,
that down here?
look, it's probably an issue with the agent. A lot, and I don't want to, don't want to say anything negative, but probably in this situation, they just said, oh, we'll cover you for the basics. Sign this, which is a waiver, so you don't have to, you don't need sinkhole, you don't need hurricane storm. Just take a very basic policy, and that's what they were given with. So speak with a professional, get your policy reviewed. Um, which reminds me, if you get something, another big tip I have, I always like to make PSAs on your show. A big tip: if you get something in the mail from an insurance company, don't throw it away. Open it up. And let me tell you why, Steve, because this past week, one of our clients got a letter in the mail saying their policy was canceled. And they came to me and said, well, I have no idea why my policy is canceled. We did some research. And I don't know if you're aware, but your listeners should be aware that Capital Preferred Insurance Company canceled pretty much all of their homeowner policies in Florida.
Capital.
Just Capital Preferred Insurance Company. This is fresh off the presses. It's a consent order from the Office of Insurance Regulation due to their financials of basically losing money. They are not in a position where they can guarantee future losses. So the Office of Insurance Regulation basically agreed for Capital Preferred to go ahead and cancel all their policies. Steve, we're right before hurricane season. A lot of
Wow.
people are in a tough position, but most people are not going to know that unless they're listening to the show or they actually open up the mail from the insurance company. So if you see something, open it.
Well, what should they do if they do have capital?
Well, first thing you need to do is try to get in touch with them. See if, I would say, see even if they're, answering their calls. Usually there's two departments. There's the underwriting and there's the claim processing. So it depends if you're currently in a claim. If you're currently in a claim, still try to reach out to them. If you're not, go speak with an agent. I think Citizens is going to come in and probably insure a lot of these people, but you have to take action. You can't just sit there and wait for something to happen. So I recommend go and deal with a trusted insurance broker to try to help you out, because the worst thing to do is to have your coverage dropped right before hurricane season.
I gotta say something. I think you're aware of this, but every year, I think it's the University of Colorado. I use them because they're the most accurate on predicting hurricanes, and they are saying this is going to be a very bad year. There's going to be 5 major hurricanes, and I got to tell you, this is not supposed to be a good year for us down here in South Florida.
No, it's very true. I just read something also that that they're saying it could be very reminiscent of 2005, where we had Katrina, and it was a very active, destructive season. So that's what the experts are saying. They're saying this year is going to be bad, so it's so important to be prepared.
You know, there's when somebody, and it's, I don't know why people think when they think of people in your business, you just do residential. You also do businesses also.
We're very active in commercial and businesses. We've had a lot of inquiries recently about, restaurants, hotels. I'm sure you've seen it in the news, and they're saying, "Hey, I thought I had coverage if I have to shut down my business, right? Loss of use, loss of business, business interruption, all these different things that we expected to be covered for, and the insurance companies are saying, go pound sand, right? For a lack of a better term. So businesses are very important, especially if they're, that's part of their annual budget. They're spending a lot of money on insurance, and they expect to be compensated when something bad happens. And we can all say that this is such an unfortunate event where businesses are being closed, and they just want what's due and owing from what the premiums that they're giving every year. And for some of these companies, their premiums are extremely high.
Imagine being having a store next door to a restaurant who never, it always seems to happen. Either flooding or a fire happens and didn't even happen at your store, but you were next door and you had a lot of damages. So it's not just the one restaurant or the store, it's the people next door also who get damages.
100%. Exactly as you said, it's not only if something happened to your, your little four squares. If something happened outside, but it caused you harm to close your firm, your operations, then yes, you are still entitled to certain compensation and benefits, and that's why it's really important to act before it's too late, because one of the most common excuses insurance companies use is, well, it wasn't timely. You didn't notify us timely, so therefore we're going to deny your claim, even if it's a legitimate claim. So you got to act fast. And if you suspect something and your business was closed, speak with a professional and let us review the policy and file a claim on your behalf.
We're going to go to break. Josh, give everybody your phone number at the office.
Sure. You can call me directly, 561 299 4523. Visit our website, our Facebook page. We have people all the time ready to answer your questions.
We're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll have more with attorney Josh Whisler. And boy, I mean, we just had two more texts come in just now, so I got some great questions for you. But it seems like everybody wants to know how you charge. So when we come back, we'll talk about that.
Sounds good.
At the Whisler Firm, they represent homeowners and water mitigation companies against insurance companies who have denied or underpaid claims resulting from property damage. Attorney Whisler is a strong advocate for the policyholder in cases against property insurance companies and will aggressively fight for his clients to ensure a timely and favorable settlement on their behalf. They strive to provide a small firm experience with big firm results. The Whisler Law Firm will help you maximize your compensation. Attorney Whisler is aware of the complicated process of insurance claims and litigation, and to this end, his clients can expect to receive professional, individualized attention as he works tirelessly to provide them with a positive outcome on their claim. Insurance company's number one priority is to pay you the least amount possible. At the Whisler Law Firm, their main goal is to get you the most money for your claim. Contact the Whisler Law Firm today at 561-299-4523 and let them get you the most for your claim. That's 561-299-4523.
And we are back. This is, without a doubt, the perfect Ask the Expert show with the way the weather is out there. And this is hurricane season starting. And we have one of the top, I would say, law firms when it comes to property damage claims. And it's really amazing. We got three texts in, all asked from three different people, all asking the same thing. What is the difference between a lawyer and a public adjuster? And there is a difference.
So in Florida, attorneys are allowed to act as public adjusters. The additional incentive is that attorneys can also file lawsuits if the claim is denied or underpaid. Furthermore, we can also file what we call civil remedy notices, which are basically bad faith allegations, which are separate from our typical lawsuit that we would file with the state. So we've got a whole toolbox, as I like to call it, of ammunition to attack the insurance companies if they're not playing fairly.
You actually can skip, like if you go to a public adjuster and they eventually have to fight you in court, they have to get an attorney to fight that. You're the attorney. So you're skipping that step right there, and you charge different too.
So that's correct. It's basically a one-stop shop. If you go with a law firm. Now, it depends when you're coming to us as a client. If you come to us after you've already tried to adjust a claim yourself or with a public adjuster, and you come to us at that point and we file a lawsuit, we don't take anything. We don't charge you hourly, and we don't take a contingency on whatever you collect. We bill hourly, but we bill that to the insurance company. So you're basically getting an attorney for free, which is a pretty good deal. If you do come to us to file the claim and do all that work, attorney's fees, wouldn't be triggered at that point. So then we would charge the same exact percentage of a public adjuster, but like I said, you're getting additional value because we could file the civil remedy notices, and you get an attorney to represent you for recorded statements and examinations under oath at no extra charge.
Josh, what happens if the insurance company says that the damages are not covered? That doesn't mean they're not covered, though, right?
No. So you know the phrase "trust but verify." So several times our clients will come to us after the fact and say, "Josh, I don't, there's nothing we can. I don't think there's anything we can do because the insurance company told me, oh, I don't have coverage for this, or I waited X amount of days to do this." Most of the times it's not accurate because they're not actually telling you what the law is. And the law trumps what the insurance company is communicating to you. So we know the law, and we're going to make sure that the insurance company is abiding by that law. And unfortunately, again, that communication from the insurance company to the homeowner or the business owner, majority of the time, does not reflect what the law is in the state of Florida.
How many times, Josh, do you see someone thinking they're going to save some money and they try to handle it themselves and they really didn't do well trying to handle it themselves? They should have just come
Well,
right to you.
all the time, all the time. But I mean, most of the time, they're right. People want it. It's in their nature to do the right thing, and the insurance companies will ask leading questions. Those questions are crafted in a way to deny the claim, and the insured, if they're not represented, usually falls into that trap of just saying whatever the insurance company wants them to say, and then they end up getting a big fat denial after that process.
Wow, here's a good question. Josh, I'm enjoying your show. Is there a statute of limitations?
So it depends. It all depends on what type of claim you have. But since we're in hurricane season, you have 3 years to report the claim. So that's why you've probably been seeing in the news or some commercials that September of this year would be the statute of limitations to file any Hurricane Irma claim. So that's something that your listeners should know.
What about if someone was unhappy with their claim, but they signed off on it? There's nothing you can do for them.
If you sign the release with the insurance company, you're basically saying, in exchange for the money that I'm receiving, I will never file a supplement for that specific claim. You can file a claim for something else that's not related, but for that specific claim, if you signed a release, I'm afraid to say, but you're out of luck.
Josh, I'm going to say something that it could probably get me in a lot of trouble, but I think it's so important. There are attorneys in town that have 20 shingles up. I mean, they do everything, all kind of personal injury, but this is all that you do. And you know, because this is all you do, what you can get away with. For example, maybe they don't want to replace all the tiles in a kitchen when you know those tiles don't exist anymore and they have to put a whole new floor in. But maybe someone who doesn't do this as often as you doesn't think of that.
Right. So if you are interviewing different attorneys, you should ask them how many cases they have in the court system. Because if they specialize in, let's say, estate planning, but they don't have any litigation experience with insurance law, you're gonna have a very challenging time. So I would recommend you ask, hey, how many cases do you have that are currently litigated or in the past couple of years? That'll be a telltale sign of whether the attorney you're speaking with has the experience that's needed to fight these insurance companies. And like we said, it is David versus Goliath. They've got all the money in the world. So you need someone that has experience in fighting the good fight and going toe to toe. It's not a walk in the park. We are in the ring battling it out every day with the insurance companies.
And the most important thing is you are an attorney, you are a litigator. You know, listen, the insurance companies hope they can get away with paying the least amount possible. And knowing that you're an attorney and this is what all you do, you're not going to pull, I mean, they're not going to pull the wool over your eyes.
We will make them accountable. That's always my promise. We will do everything we can to our clients to make the insurance companies accountable to do the right thing. And we're going to use the laws on our side to enforce that.
One last thing, Josh. If, for example, if we have a hurricane, somebody has damage, they should call you the next day. Is that true? Or should they
That's
wait?
correct. No. You want to contact a professional. You want to contact my office as soon as possible so we can be there on the ground to make sure that you get the benefits that you need. A lot of times people will have to move out of their house and get a hotel. Let me tell you from my experience with clients trying to deal with that themselves, they're getting nowhere. When we get there and we tell the insurance company, hey, you better respond to us within 24 hours, or we're going to file something with the state, or we're going to file something with the court. They have a much more likelihood to respond to us than they do to Mary Joe or whoever it is.
Josh, give everybody your phone number and please write this down.
Sure, you can call me directly at 561-299-4523. Again, that's 561-299-4523.
Josh, this is like the best show to have this time of year. I'm so glad you're with us. Josh will be back. Actually, we'll be running today's show again in the next couple of weeks, and then Josh will be back with us again next month with more Ask the Experts. We're going to go to a break now. When we come back, we will be doing our plastic surgery Ask the Expert show. Thanks, Josh.
All right, take care.